Our next game in the Sunset League, moving down to Division II, Edison taking on the 10-0 Inglewood Sentinels Friday night on the road. The Chargers are the 4 seed, Inglewood the 12 seed. Inglewood, they beat St. Bonaventure in the first round, a 26-10 win. And of course, Inglewood, they've been in the news lately. Big 106-0 win over their rival Morningside. That got national attention. That got critiques from people like Dick Vitale and Eric Sonheimer. We don't care about that game. We care about this matchup in front of us, the Chargers and the Sentinels. And Howard, what stands out to you from this matchup? I'm very excited about this one.
Man, I'm excited too. I think it's going to be a great game. And what I love is that they're two teams that are very talented. Both teams won a lot of games this year, but they do it a little bit differently. Inglewood, very top-heavy. They've got guys committed to big-time colleges, multiple Pac-12 guys that lead what they do on offense and defense from the Inglewood side. But then you've got Edison, not as many guys getting scholarship offers, not a ton of big-time Pac-12 guys, but man, are they deep. They've got a lot of talent at every position, well-coached, very disciplined, and a very, very high-level football team. So two talented teams, but they just get it done differently, and I love that clash of styles.
Well, one of their talented players, quarterback Justin Martin, he's headed to UCLA. He set the California State high school record with 13 touchdowns against Morningside earlier this season, and we had the opportunity to catch up with him earlier today and ask him what he expects out of the Edison Chargers.
They've been having success really in the past game. Their quarterback, pretty clean pocket for the most part. Last game, he had a pretty clean pocket, and he threw, I think, 5 touchdowns. So they're capable of, passing the ball vertically and getting after it. On defense, they really sit in a too-high shell, and their corners are really active. I think one of them had a pick six, first drive of the game last week. So, yeah, they're pretty active corners, and they got athletes all over the field.
Well, we had a great conversation with Justin Martin. Obviously, he's a very bright young man, bright quarterback, watches a ton of film. And as you heard, he gave credit to the active defensive back play from Edison. He saw the 65-yard pick six from Troy Fletcher. So he knows he's up against some good corners and some good defensive players. Then earlier on in the clip, he also had to shout out that Edison offense. Talked about how they like to go vertical. They throw the ball down the field. He realizes that they might not have 4 receivers that are going, like I said, going to the Pac-12. But, man, they've got a lot of playmakers that we have to account for.
Well, one of those playmakers is junior wide receiver Tucker Tripp, and he talked to us about Edison's offensive strategy and what it's going to take to beat Inglewood.
I think we just need our playmakers to execute the game plan. Coach Grady and the staff, they've done a great job of highlighting certain ways we can attack their offense. They're going to attack their defense. They're going to run a lot of man. So just with them scheming up a lot of man beaters, it's going to be up to our receivers to just go out and capitalize and run good routes and get open.
Now, getting the ball to these Edison playmakers will be senior quarterback Tyler Joya once again. The junior Parker Awad still out due to COVID protocol. Also, senior defensive back Cody Gerbic out due to COVID protocol as well. But Howard, Tyler Joya, we've called him a backup. He was a backup on the depth chart. It's 1A, 1B. Joya's a captain, a great story. We tell it all the time. He came back from a torn ACL in April to get that first playoff victory for Edison. He's going to get the start again. So I see no drop-off in quarterback play there at all. I'm excited to see what Joya can do in his second straight playoff start. What's it going to take for the Chargers to get the win against Inglewood?
Well, we know a lot of the Chargers' success comes with those dynamic skill players. But for me this week, what it's going to take to get the win is dominate the line of scrimmage, specifically from a defensive perspective if you're the Chargers. We're looking at guys like Hudson Letterman, Austin Gribick, these linebackers. Dominate the line of scrimmage and control what Inglewood does. Don't let them get their run game started and get pressure on the quarterback, because we know Inglewood has very, very dynamic receivers, fast guys that want to get out in space. So don't let the quarterback get comfortable and find his receivers, and don't let Inglewood get any kind of a run game going. I think that puts the Edison Chargers in a position that they want to be in, because their offensive line is going to be able to move the ball. Troy Fletcher's going to get his yards. So if you stop the other team from doing that, you control the clock. I think Edison has every opportunity to win this game because their receivers are going to get going as well.
Chargers, Sentinels, Edison, Inglewood, Friday Night Lights. If that doesn't get your pulse going, something's wrong with you. I can't wait for that game in Division II.